If you want to set up your RV's freshwater system like a pro, then you're gonna wanna watch this video. Hello, I'm Chris, certified RV technician for Unique Camping and Marine. When you go to a full hookups campground and are connecting your RV to the fresh water, using just a standard garden hose may not cut it for you. In this video, we're going to walk you through a few different accessories and attachments which we recommend when hooking your RV up to the fresh water at a campground. Let's get started. In order to have a pro-level freshwater setup for your RV, the first thing which we're going to recommend is a dedicated freshwater hose. The reason why you would want a dedicated freshwater hose is so that you don't have to worry about any kind of cross-contaminations with other hoses which you might use while RVing. Some of those hoses might include something which you would hook up to your black tank rinser or something that you use for rinsing out the black tank. You definitely want to keep these two different hoses separate. This one is a specific one for the freshwater and is BPA free, and it doesn't have anything which would add any contaminants to your drinking water. The next piece which we recommend is some sort of a freshwater filter. You're going to want one of these in order to get rid of any contaminants which might be in the water supply at a campground. A lot of campgrounds are on well setups and are off of the grid, so they're not going to have the same sort of treatment that a city water supply would have. So having a freshwater filter in order to get rid of any contaminants in the water as it's entering into your RV is a great idea. There are multiple levels of freshwater filters that you can get depending on your level of contaminants which you want to filter out. This one's a relatively basic one, but you can go into 3 canister versions and even ones which contain UV lights in order to kill extra bacteria inside of the water source, so it's as fresh as possible when it reaches your tap. You might be asking yourself, when is a good time to replace a water filter that you have already been using? And a lot of them recommend that you replace the filter once the flow starts to become reduced or stops completely. In our mind, the best way to go about this is to just replace it once a year. Fortunately, water filters are relatively affordable, especially for basic ones like this one. But if you have a more complex system, we highly recommend just following the owner's manual recommendations for replacing the filters. When it comes to having a brand new water filter, you will definitely need to prime it first before you allow the water to flow in through your garden hose and into the RV. We recommend doing this by connecting it up to the water pressure regulator and then not hooking the garden hose up to it. Turn on the water spigot and you'll usually see a fair amount of black water pour out onto the ground. This is going through and knocking loose all of the charcoal carbon filter inside of there, and it's a good way to prime the system. Once you see clear fresh water running through the filter, then shut off the water, connect your freshwater hose, and you can start your camping adventure. The next part of your pro level water setup is going to be a water pressure regulator. Water pressure regulators are going to ensure that the water pressure coming from the tap at a campsite is going to remain consistent. There are all different sorts of water pressure levels when it comes to campgrounds and campsites around the United States. Some of these are extremely high and may actually cause damage to some of the fixtures inside of your RV. So having something which is going to regulate that water flow is going to be extremely helpful. This one is an adjustable one, so you can set it up in order to have the desired flow rate that you're looking for, especially when it comes to showering. And it also has a pounds per square inch gauge on it. There are certainly much more basic ones which reduce it down to a single flow rate, and those are perfectly fine to use as well. We just recommend going with whichever one you feel the most comfortable with using. The last component which we recommend is going to be a water flow meter. What this is going to do is show you the amount of gallons which are flowing through the hose and into your RV. This is very nice even when you are not at a full hookups campground in order to fill up the freshwater holding tank, so you know roughly what the amount of water that you're putting in there is. They range in prices, so you can get some which are extremely accurate, but they also cost around $250. And then you can also get more basic basic ones off of Amazon, which are going to be more in the $20 range, and they do a pretty good job as far as showing you how many gallons you are putting into the RV. It is also nice to know over the course of a camping trip how many gallons you have used, just kind of for food for thought, so you have an idea as to how much of a load is being put through your RV at any given time. When it comes to these 4 components, you may be asking yourself, well, which order do I connect them in? And so this is how we recommend doing it. You will want to start with the water pressure regulator as the closest component to the actual water source. So you would thread this onto the water spigot before turning it on. The next component we recommend putting in the chain is going to be the water filter. So after you have reduced the pressure, you will then be putting on the water filter in order to clean it up. After that, we recommend putting the water flow meter on there in between here and the garden hose, and this will allow you to see what the water flow is going into your RV. It's a good idea to put it downstream of the water filter and the regulator so you get the most accurate reading. From there, you would want to hook your garden hose to the connection where you had the flow meter, and then you've got the complete daisy chain of your fresh water supplies connected. Tighten everything down and then turn on your water supply. This will allow you to have the best results when it comes to using your freshwater system while at a full hookups campground. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned a lot about your freshwater system and how to get it set up like a pro. If you have any questions or felt like I left anything out, please feel free to leave comments and we will go and respond to them as soon as we see them. If you would like to, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel, and I hope that you have a great camping experience. See you on the next one, guys.